country's best sheriffs doing? Of all 50 states, we're #1. We appreciate what you guys are doing, and I think you're going to end up at this conference next year potentially be talking about, hey, they elected some anti-law enforcement mayor in New York City, and now all these NYPD cops want to come work in our agencies and get the $5,000 bonus. And I think that that's unfortunately something from New York's perspective that may happen if they do this. And it's kind of frustrating to see it because we know what works and what doesn't work. Some of this stuff has been tried where you're anti-law enforcement, releasing criminals, not pursuing prosecutions, and then we see states like Florida that have done it the opposite and have had really strong positive results. So we've been able to do a lot of stuff holistically. I always talk about we're ranked #1 in economy 3 years in a row by CNBC of all 50 states. We've led the nation in net migration for at least the last 3 or 4 years. We're #1 in education freedom, #1 in higher education, #1 in business formations, #1 in talent development, entrepreneurship, all these things. And there's a lot of great things to talk about, but I will tell you, none of that stuff would be sustainable if you don't have law and order prevail in your communities and in your state. And we've seen that across the country. Yes, they've had a lot of problems in other areas too in some of these places, but the #1 reason why people fly the coop from some of these places is because law and order is broken down. They don't feel safe in their communities. The politicians, for whatever reason, have let inmates run the asylum. What we've done in Florida is we've done strong policy and we've done strong support for the people that are out there getting the job done. At the end of the day, you can have the right policy if you don't have folks in our sheriff's departments and in our police departments that are out there doing God's work, then you're not going to be successful. But you can have great sheriffs, great police departments if you have really bad policy that's empowering criminals and harming public safety, then you're fighting a really serious uphill battle. So if you look at what we've done throughout my tenure as governor, well, one thing we've done is we've rejected jailbreak-style policies that have prevailed in places like New York and California. And let's just be clear, those have been proposed in the state of Florida. And people think, oh, we're so law and order. There's a lot of folks that wanted to do that. You have people that want to release felons from prisons now, saying they don't even have to serve their sentence like Florida law requires. You also have folks that want to go easy on people that are committing street-level crimes, and we know that that would just cause more crime and a proliferation of a lot of bad things. There's movements to abolish cash bail. You even had a movement down in Miami-Dade where a judge wanted to do that. So this stuff has all been percolating around the country. They run into a roadblock with me as governor because I'm not going to support it, and we're going to make sure that we're law and order. But just think if those policies were to take hold in Florida, how much more difficult would your jobs be as sheriffs to be able to do it? I just think to myself, like in New York City, you have these cops, and they're risking their lives out there. You never know what's going to happen. And that's just against the backdrop they know if there's any type of altercation, the politicians and the media will likely blame them, even if they didn't do anything wrong. So you kind of have that. So you're doing all this. You apprehend a criminal suspect. They end up getting charged, and a judge just lets them go, even for very serious crimes. So then like 2-3 weeks later, you get called out, and you got to apprehend the same guy for committing additional crimes. And it's like, at some point, whose side are you on with some of this stuff? So our policies have been strong.